Alright, take two. When I went to finish the last video, I had moved up and went up to the next drain cave. And then I climbed up over the ridge and there was a guy in the other retention basin, so I decided we're going to stop and we'll come back later. So, this is... what I'm leading you through now is what we call the tunnel. And it's not really much of a tunnel, but when you're a child it's more so. As you notice, the roads here channel... ooh, I just tripped. Channel the water down the gutters and then through these V-shaped little channels. That's kind of stupid. But then they come here, up underneath this metal plate, and then they head into the tunnel. It's just an extra area between two houses. It is also V-shaped, so you get all the water running where you want to, and it slopes slightly down, very slightly. You hardly even notice it. Here's the backyards. I wanted to show this. There's like Christian graffiti on this wall. Hey, that almost looks like an RX. The lady who used to live in this house, she raised pugs. And when we would play over here, we would always come to these little holes in the backyard fence and try and pet the puppies through the holes, because they would all come by and see us. And this, I guess this used to be somebody's like ramp, because there's a bunch of skateboarders in our neighborhood now. And I think that's what they use it for. But the water would come down the tunnel and then it would come out and fall down this waterfall. You notice around the rest of it there's just the huge gravel. But right here they put these big, what we call river rocks, because they're worn smooth by the water. Although they were smooth when they put them in. Ow, jeez. And then of course we have these, for some reason somebody cut up a tree and put all the tree branches here. Oh well, so let's take a walk this way real quick. Ooh, excuse me. I was just drinking soda, so now I've got the hiccup burps. I believe they call them the hiccups. So I'm just going to show you where we left off, and then I'll take you down into the other basin. Ooh, look at that. There's a hole. Things live down there. I don't know what. I really don't want to disturb whatever might be down there, just in case it's got poison. Not poison, venom. Poison, okay, all things which are, there's toxins. Poisons are ingested. Venoms are injected. That's why you don't have a poisonous spider unless it's poisonous when you eat it. This is the dirt ramp that the trucks went down. And because of the rain and the wear, now it has these giant fissures all the way down. And over there, let me see if I'll do my custom zoom right there. That is the high-level cave that we were approaching last time, but we stopped right before we got there. Now I looked down the cave, and I could tell, oh, there's the wind again. I watched the video, and I know the wind going over the microphone can cause some buffeting problems. Anyway, I looked down the cave, and I saw where it led out. And it was not the street, it was this other retention basin. So here's the big one. Only the far end, over by the cave off in the distance, existed when I was a kid. The rest of this is new, so that they could expand it. And on this side, the front half here was there when I was a kid, but this section here by the main road, this was new. This did not exist before. And as we stand here, let's see if we can tell. Again, lots of wind. Now you can see where the ground is here, and if I turn back this way, maybe you can tell that the ground in the retention basin on the right is lower. And so you have the mini cave here. Oh geez, and the wall here is steeper. Let's see if I can find a place without too much. Yeah, let's go over here. It's a slightly steeper section, but there's not as many little thorned plants. And I, once again, like the genius I am, wore sandals. Okay, so, wow, look at all the grass down here. There's just piles of it. I mean, literally, there's piles of it. I don't know how it got like this. I don't know where it comes from, but regardless. you have this little cave, and the water, as you can tell by the refuse is coming towards the cave rather than from it. So water that fills this taller basin here floods down this cave and then comes out the other side. Unfortunately, this section is new. It didn't exist when I was a kid, so there's no lore associated with it. Although, man, there's a lot of green, swampy land here. Also, I love the way the camera shakes when I walk. I didn't notice it was that bad until I watched it. I bet if the Prince of Macedon watched it, he would get motion sickness. Now, if we head over a little bit, and there's more wind, we will come to the cave that did exist. This one drains the main road. And you can see it right there. I don't know why I'm showing you the ground when I could show you up over here. So this one is another, this one's a bigger cave, but it's not the biggest. Not like all the way back at the beginning. And that's a wire hanger, I think, bent into a funny shape. Looked kind of like Idaho. Alright, so here we are. And this cave is actually open. You would not want to, at least I'd hope you wouldn't want to, but you could just pull that gate up and crawl in there. And as a small child, you would fit. Let's go see if we can get a shot inside. Oh, gotta go lower, lower, lower. Lower! Yeah, not much to see down there, is there? And then, what do we got up here? Okay, so let's head over to the, this will be kind of awkward. But this is the cool thing. I love this. I called this the stone flow. Because unlike the rest of the retention basin, this has, just like that first one, a big concrete river rock section. And I guess what they were hoping for was that the water off of the road up here would just flow down into the basin across these rocks. These are fun to climb on as a kid because there's plenty of footholds and it's not as steep as the sides of the basin otherwise would be. But I think that's the whole tour of the basin. I was trying to think if there were any particular things I wanted to say about it other than that. I don't think so. There's the ramp right there that they used to drive the trucks down into this side in order to do the extra excavation. I remember when I came down here as a kid, it's almost always we played on the other side because it was larger. And for whatever reason, even though I live maybe a little bit further to walk that way, my friends lived on that side of the street, so we met up with them a little bit better on that way. But I always wanted to be a druid because druids had this cool spell. I'm going to point straight up. Right here you got the blue sky. Druids had a spell where they could summon a storm. And it would take maybe 10 minutes to an hour for it to finally get full force. But you could always pretend, when I was a druid, I always said, you know, when we got to the ravine, I'm summoning a storm. And then a few minutes later, like when trolls or something would attack, druids had a spell called Call Lightning. And if you had summoned a storm before you used Call Lightning, it did more damage. I don't remember if that's the actual rules or if that's just what we said. Because I believe you could Call Lightning at any old time and it did like 3d6 or 3d8 damage. But if you had summoned a storm beforehand, it did 3d10 or 3d12, something like that. It's pretty awesome. So, let's go ahead and focus on the sun. Burn a hole in your retina. No. And that is the retention basin where my brother and my friends and I used to pretend to play D&D when we were kids. I hope that helped. Bye-bye.